Hey, welcome back to a quick video we're doing here on a Saturday. So I got an email last night from one of our subscribers and private members, and he wanted me to let him know what I thought of a progression that he's been using or testing out. So I figured, why not? Let's go ahead and show it to everybody else. So this is a positive progression. So it's not a positive progression like we've been showing. We've been showing you guys a few different things where we only progress on a win by going up 1 unit. So this is a little different than that. So the progression you see on the screen that Sean wanted us to check out is a 1-4-2-3, and he wanted me to kind of talk about it and see what I felt. So when you're using this progression, like any of these standard positive progressions, you're only progressing after a win. And if you lose at any time, you're going back to your single bet, your 1 unit bet. So the way that this one is set up is really interesting. So if you were to win 4 times in a row, you're winning a unit, you're winning 4 units, right? So it's 5, 6, 7, right? 8, 9, 10. So you'd be winning 10 units here, right? So there you go. But if you lose, check it out. So if you lose anywhere in here, you're still making something, right? You're still making something. So that's kind of the way this works. You'll get the vibe. Now, I will tell you this before we get started. When you do this type of deal, and I'm going to show you various games and where I would use it. This is not something you're sticking at the table or the craps table or the Baccarat table for hours and hours doing this. You're gonna set hard profit targets. There's no doubt about it. Hard profit targets if you use this. That's the only way that this works. Because these games are choppy, right? We all know that. So the whole point of how you make money using this type of progression is because you have a few shots at rolling through the 4. And if you're not down very much, right, rolling through this will put you in the positive. So you don't want to go up and down and up and down and up and down. So when you get up a decent amount of units, you have to walk away. All right. So let's do this. So what I want to show you is where you could use this progression. So this is going to be one of those rare videos where I'm going to show you multiple different places and multiple different games that this makes sense. And we can talk about it. So let's start with Baccarat, since that's where Sean wanted me to ask the question, right? He asked me the question, wanted me to answer it. So it doesn't matter what your bet selection is when you use this. Obviously, what I will tell you, generally speaking, and this goes for all the different games, is positive progressions like this do best when you have a bet selection that gives you a run, meaning that it works better when you have a bet system, a bet selection that gives you chunks of runs in a row. Now, we know that you're not going to win every one, but if your bet selection gives you back-to-back winners quite a few times during the shoe or whatever it is that you're doing, this is where this really works. This does not work as well with bet selections that chop back and forth. Okay? So let's just throw this out there. And we're just going to combine this with, and you can combine this with whatever your favorite bet selection is. So you can do follow the leader, you can do a pattern like banker, banker, player, player, banker, banker, right? Or you can do time before last. You can do anything you want to do. So to make life easier, let's just do time before last, okay, to just show you what it looks like. All right, so let's go ahead and throw a couple of hands out there, okay? All right, so we've got 2 hands out there. So time before last, this is the last, right? And this is the one before it, so it's a player. So we'd be betting player, right? So let's use $10, right? Let's just use $10 as our 1 unit, okay? So we'd be betting player. And we'd come out here and we'd deal. And we'd win. So that means that we won, which triggers us in the positive progression. So now we're going to bet 4 units or $40. But what are we betting on now? Okay, time before last is banker. So now we're betting on a banker at $40. Right? And we lost. So in a positive progression, we don't go any further. We're just going back to the 1, right? So because we won here and we lost here, we ended up losing for this sequence, right? We need to win this one to be ahead in the sequence. So now we're back to our 1 unit bet. Time before last is a player, okay, is a player. So we're back to betting player for 1 unit. And we win. We go to sequence number 2, which is 4, and we're going to be betting player for 4 units, right? It's a tie, so we're just going to repeat it. And we lose. So we haven't had any traction yet. You see that? So now we're going to go back to our 1 unit bet. Right? We're going to go back to our 1 unit bet. So we're going to go back to our 1 unit bet, and this time it's going to be on player. And we win. Now we're on our 4 unit bet on banker. And we win. So this is the first time we're able to go to the third bet sequence, which is only 2. You see how it drops? So now we're going to be betting 2 units on player. And we win. And our final sequence is 3 units. And this one's going to be on banker. 3 units on banker. So let's see if we can complete the cycle. We cannot. But we won here, okay? We made money in this sequence, all right? So we just go back to our first bet, right? Back to our 1 unit bet. And by the way, if we would have won this, it's the same thing. You still go back to your 1 unit bet. So we're going to be doing a player bet, right? 1 unit. And we lose. So we're going to make a 1 unit bet again because we don't go up, and it's going to be on player again. So notice that the losses are under control for the most part, right? We're going to repeat because that was a tie. And we win. So now we're going to do our 4 unit bet on banker. 4 unit bet on banker. Okay, and we lost, which means we're going back to our 1 unit bet. And we'll do a few more of these because I think you guys get it, but I want to show more in this video before we run out of any time. So we're going to be on our player bet. Player bet 1 unit. And we lost. So now we're going to do a player bet on, it is a player bet. Yep, 1 unit. And we win. Let's do our 4 unit bet on banker. And we win. Okay, we're not exactly back at break even, right? But when you do this, when you get on a tear, it's pretty quick that you can make a little bit of money, all right? The negative to the positive progression is choppy, right? We know that. If you're chopping, you're losing a unit. If you're choppy, you're not getting past the second tier here, right? Once you get past the second tier here, you're gold. All right. You see that in the numbers. All right. So right now we're down a little bit, not much. And we're just waiting to get back to even and hit one of those runs and we'd be done. At least I'd be done because I wouldn't continue to play after I hit a run or 2. All right. So that's the way that this works. So you guys get it. You can pair this with any Baccarat bet selection that makes you feel great. All right. I'm not going to tell you what to pair it with. If you're a private member, we have plenty of different bet selections you can use to test this out with. If you're watching the video and you're not a private member, you can go back and watch any of our Baccarat videos, and you can see all the different bet selections we've tried, or any of the other YouTubers that show you bet selections. So now, for people that play something other than Baccarat, does this work? Yes, as long as it's an even money bet. So let's go ahead and let's switch to craps. All right. So a lot of people would say, well, wait a minute, how the hell would this work in craps? All right. Well, I'm going to show you one way. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. All right. Now, obviously, you can do this with the field. You can do this with a pass line bet, a don't pass, right? A come bet or a don't come bet. All right. So there's a lot of different usage. So let me just show you a couple of different things. So let's use the field as a simple way of looking at this first. So the field, for people that are not craps players, the field is a single, it's a one-time bet, just like what we were doing in Baccarat, right? You're betting for a player banker, or in Roulette, a red-black, even odd. It's a one-shot bet. These bets stay up there. So we're not going to talk about place bets or buying numbers or anything like that. We're going to talk about a little bit more of a simplistic bet first. So the field bet is a one-time bet. The interesting thing with the field bet is that most casinos pay double if you get a 2, and they pay triple some of the casinos when you get a 12. So that's kind of bonus money, right? All right. But what you notice with the field is the number that comes in the most is the 7. That's the number there's most combinations to make a 7 of 2 dice. That's not on the field, right? So the odds are with the casino that the 7 has more chances than any single number here. But when you add up all the combinations of making all of these, it's not horrible. Some people will tell you this is a horrible bet, okay, because it's a one-time bet. It all depends on money management like anything else. So the way that you would do this is the same way. Now, I'm going to just give you a little caveat. I don't play the field unless I see 2 non-field numbers come up, right? I wait for 2 non-field numbers to come up. That's just me. But you don't have to do that, right? So let's just go out there and let's put a $10 bet on the field, right? And it loses. So we're still on our bet number 1, right? Oh, by the way, look what happened, 7. So it's a perfect example, right? So let's go back out there again with a $10 bet. Now, I'm not waiting for the 2 non-field numbers or anything like that. I'm just showing you how it works. All right. That's another loss. So we're going to go out there again. Another loss. So that's 3 losses in a row on the field. So we're not having much luck at the moment. There you go. All right, there's a win. So the same way we were doing it before, we would now bet on the field again, but this time we're doing 4 units. Okay? And the purpose of this is to show you how you can use the positive progression. That's all it is. We lost. We're back with a 1 unit bet. We lost. We're back with a 1 unit bet. We won. We're on our 4 unit bet. We lost. We're back on our 1 unit bet. You see? Okay, we're on our 4 unit bet. We're looking for consecutive field numbers, right? That's the way it works. And we won. So now we're on our 3rd tier bet, the 2 unit bet. Let's see if we can get another field. We lost. Okay. All right. So do you understand what's happening here? So now, if you wanted to take notes or try this, I recommend being patient if you're going to use the field. So either wait for 1 non-field number or 2 non-field numbers before going out there. Now, by the way, that's even after a win. So if you win your 1 unit bet here, you're not going back out immediately like I just did. You're going to wait for another non-field or 2 non-fields to do your 4 unit bet. All right? So now let's look at craps. The beauty of craps is that there's a million different ways to bet on the craps table, as opposed to Baccarat, right? So what else can you do with this positive progression? Okay, you can do something that's a little bit slower, So you can do a don't come bet or a come bet. All right. So let's just do the come bet. So the point is a 4. So there's a point established. We can put money in the come bet. All right. So let's do the $10 here. The come bet, when any of these numbers come up, it's almost like a secondary point. So they take your $10 and they move it to the 10. And you win if another 10 is rolled before a 7 comes out. Okay. So that was our one bet, right? So now we have to be patient because this is not a one roll bet when you do these come bets. You have to wait for the result. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. We lose, okay? Because the 7 came. So we would still, just like we've been showing, we have to wait for a come bet. You can't get back in the come area until there's a point established. So let's just roll. Why did that? Oh, that's a 7. I'm sorry. Okay. So the 8 is the point. So now they'll let us put another come bet out. And now it moves to the 5. So now we have to wait. And we won. Okay, you see that? We won, and our money is down. So that means we would go to the 4-unit bet. Okay, so now we're betting 40. And we automatically won that one. Automatically won, okay, because we got an 11. When you're in the come area and the 11 rolls, you automatically win. So we didn't even have to get put onto one of the numbers. So now we're moving on to the third bet, which is the 2, right? The 2-unit. So now we're back in the come bet. And we got moved to the 8. So now it stays there until we win or lose. We lose. Okay, so we lost. So now we're back on the 1 bet. So do you guys see how that works? All right, you guys see how it works? So we use the field with the positive progression. We use the come bets with the positive progression. And now I'll show you a couple of other things. All right, so you can use the don't come, which is the opposite of the come, right? So when you go in the dumb, basically the opposite. It's not an exact situation. So again, we have to wait here. It won't let us put a don't come bet out until there's a point here. Okay, so the don't come, we're going to put the $10. We can do this. This is the opposite. This is like a dark side bet. So wherever they move it to, we're betting that the 7 does come. Okay, watch this. Okay, we automatically won. We didn't even get moved because the 3 came. So when you're on the pass line and the 2-3 comes, you lose. When you're in the don't come and the 2-3 comes, you automatically win. So we won our 1 bet. So now we're going to go back out with the 4-unit bet. So we're going to do a 40. Okay. And that moves to the 5. So for us to win on a don't come, we need the 7 out. We're now betting against the shooter. We're betting for the 7 now. Okay. And there it is. Bam. Okay. So now we won this bet. We're on to our third bet, the 2-unit bet, but we can't make it yet. All right. So now we can go out with our 2-unit bet, 20. We lost, okay, because the 7 came, so we lost. So now we're back again, and we restart once again on the 1-unit bet. All right, so you've learned how to use the field, the come bet, and the dark side bet, which is the don't come, where you're betting, if it gets moved to a number, you're betting for the 7, right? In the come number, if a number rolls, they're going to move you to that, and you're betting that the number comes up before the 7, all right? So the other thing that you can do is you can use the don't pass, right? So the don't pass is similar to the don't come. All right. So here we go. So we're going to put our $10 in the don't pass. So we're betting against the shooter. This is a dark side bet. So let's just see how it works. Okay. The point is a 6. So we're on the don't pass. We're betting that the guy is going to throw a 7 before he makes another 6. Okay, nothing yet. Nothing yet. And we lost because he actually made his 6. Okay? So we're still on a 1-unit bet. So we go back out with the 10s. I mean with the $10. Okay. The point is a 6 again. So we need a 7 before he makes the 6. And we won. So now we're on our second tier bet, the 4-unit bet. So we're going to do a 40. And we win immediately because a 3 was rolled. And on the don't pass, the 3 and the 2 make you money. Okay? So we would be on the 2-unit bet again. Now we're back on the 2-unit bet. All right. It's a 4. That's a good number for us because there's not many ways to make a 4 and a 10. So the odds are really in our favor now, right? The odds are really in it. That doesn't mean it can't lose, but the odds are in our favor of a 7 showing up before a 4. Let's see what happens. Come on. There it is. Bam. Okay? So we won 20 on that. So now we'd be on our third tier bet. So let's just make this our last one. This is a $30 bet. So we've had more success at the craps table with the positive progression than we did even at Baccarat. And that, I'm not telling you one's better than the other. I'm just telling you in this demo we've had more luck. All right? And we're positive, by the way, even though we've been jumping all over the place. Okay. So this is our final bet in this sequence. We're on the don't pass for the 3 units, and the 6 is the point. That's not good for us because there's a lot of ways to make a 6 and an 8, right? We would rather have the 4 and the 10. So we need a 7 to come up for us to win this bet. And we lost because the 6 came up. All right. So you guys see there's multiple ways to use the positive progression that most people don't talk about when it comes to something like craps. You don't see this in craps very often. This is a very unusual way to kind of bet on the craps table. So you have multiple ways that I've shown you to do it. And you can mix and match them. It doesn't mean that the whole session at the craps table has to be played on the field or on the come or on the don't come. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, I like this method on the don't pass, the come, and the don't come better than the field. Just so you know. All right. So now, let's see if I can show you one more example. Let's see something here. Hold on one second, guys. Let's see if I can do this. Roulette simulator. There it is. Okay. So we're back to our trusty roulette simulator. All right. So now the final little example that we're going to show. Can you use this in roulette? Of course you can use this in roulette because we have even money bets as well here, right? So we can do any of these using the positive progression. Now, you may ask me, well, Jack, we know you like the dozens and the columns. Can you use this for the dozens and the columns? Yes, you can use this for the dozens and the columns. But they're not 50% bets. So the odds, the math for using this, we have the private members know we just released a system that does do a hybrid positive progression, which is not this, by the way, and teaching you how to use that with single dozens and double dozens, things like that. So we do have private systems that we use a positive progression on. But for this public video, what I'm going to show you is just like we did with Baccarat, it's the same thing here if you use the even money bets. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just do, just to show in the example, follow the leader? Okay, so we're just going to follow whatever came up. We're going to use that as our bet selection. You can do anything you want. So let's spin for nothing, right? Let's spin to get a number. Why is this not showing here? We can't see the, hold on 1 second, guys. I can't even, it's not showing the, what is wrong here? All right, let's just do this. For whatever reason, it's not, I have this too low on the table here. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry. I had it too low. All right, so let's go back so I don't screw this up. There you go. And we're still not seeing the top of the wheel. That's really weird. I don't remember that ever happening like that before. All right, so let's just do this. All right, so I think it's something that I must have done here where I move this. I'm sorry. Let's do this. And it's still not showing as nicely as I wanted it to. All right, so let's just do this. So let's do the same thing. So let's do $10 bets, and let's start with, we have it down here as a 31. So let's just go opposite, and we're going to put $10 here on red. And we lost. So we know we're going to go back out here. We're going to follow the leader, though. I'm sorry. I said I was going to follow the leader. So delete that, and we're going to go to $10 on black. And we win. So we're on our second bet, which is a 4-unit bet, right? And we win. And now we're on our 2-unit bet. And we lose. So now we have to do a free spin because this doesn't give us anything to use here, right? So let's do a free spin. And that's a 32. We'll just stick with the red and black. So we'll do our first unit bet back on red because we're back on our 1-unit bet. Oh, I just screwed up. I did 2 units on there. All right. Oh, wait a minute. I do not remember whether that was, yeah, we had a loss and then we had that. Yeah, I just put an extra unit on there by accident. That was supposed to be a 1-unit bet. Okay. So this is supposed to be the 2-unit bet. All right. So we made a mistake there. You know what? I completely screwed up. That was supposed to be the 4-unit bet. All right, so I have completely made a mistake on this section of the video, but you guys understand what's going on, right? So let's do it one more time for roulette, and you guys understand what it is. It's 1, 4, 2, 3, right? 1, 4, 2, 3. So we're already up $60, even with my ridiculous mistake. We should be up a lot more than that. We should be up about $100 because I missed the 4-unit bet. I think I only had a 2-unit bet out there, whatever it is. We'd be up about $80 now. So let's just do it one more time. All right. So let's just pretend like we're on our 1-unit bet. All right, we win. So now we're going to go to our 4-unit bet. Let's see if we can do it correct this time. We lost. So we're back on our 1-unit bet. Up, and I did it again. Why do I want to bet 20? Oh, I know why. Because I had to. I know exactly why. Okay. There you go. We lost. So now that was a 1, and that was a red. So we're back on our 1-unit bet. I'll tell you guys why I was making the mistake. That's a loss, so we're back on black. Okay, we win. So now we're on our 4-unit bet. Follow the leader, so we're just going to do, we're doing our 4-unit bet on black. And it's a loss. So now we're back on our 1-unit bet. Oh, I did it again. I really want to make that 2-unit bet, don't I? All right. We lost. So now we're getting chopped, right? So like we saw in the other games, the enemy of a positive progression is the chop. And we lost again, right? So we're walking through these chops. And we lost again. Wow. How do you like that? So this is really choppy right now. Nope, we lost again. So you can see how when it's chopping like this, yep, and it's still chopping. So we're not getting any traction right now. Wow. How do you like that? And a loss there with the green. So let's just play a little bit more. All right. So on our roulette session, the progression is not really working, which doesn't mean anything, by the way. Look at that. Look how many losses that is. It just means that the results are choppy. Wow. I think that's probably 8 or 9 or 10 in a row there. Look at this. Chopping like now, if we were playing opposite of last, we'd be up a ton of money. There you go. Oh my God, it's a miracle. Now, let's talk about this for a minute. We lost all those bets in a row, probably like 9 bets in a row. We're only down $110. That's the other side of the positive progression, is that you're only losing 1 unit at a time. Okay, so even when you have a terrible losing streak like that, you're not martingaling or doing anything stupid. All right, so let's do our second bet, the 4-unit bet on red, and let's see if we can finally get a back-to-back here. We do. So you see how that pulls us back quite a bit. So now we're on our 2-unit bet. Still on red. Let's see if we can get another red. And we do. So we've almost made it through the whole progression. So now we're on our 3-unit and final bet. We can't lose any money on this sequence, though, because we've already made enough. And we made it. So we finished the whole four sequences there, the 4 bets. And now we're almost back to break even after all those crazy losses in a row. There was like 9 or 10 losses in a row. So do you see that's how the positive progression works? So I've shown you how it works on roulette. And you can do any bet selection you want. There's a million different bet selections, as you guys know, for these even money bets. Use any bet selection you want, okay? You can use it on craps in the different sections I just showed you, and you can certainly use it in Baccarat. So take advantage of it. Play with that bet selection. That money management. 1, 4, 2, 3. Let me see if I can pull it back up. All right, here you go. 1, 4, 2, 3. And the only thing I will tell you is, as always, make sure that you have a hard profit stop. Don't stand there for hours and hours and hours, because you're just going to go up and down. Take your units and walk. And you know me, if I'm playing $10 units, I'm up anywhere between 4 to 8 units. I'm done. Okay, with this type of scenario here, you want to play it for 10 units and walk, play it for 10 units. You're going to understand where the sweet spot is and what your risk to reward is if you practice this. So I hope you guys like this. We don't do a huge amount of positive progressions on the public side of this channel. But this is one that Sean wanted us to try. I didn't want to just use Baccarat. I wanted to show you guys that it can work for a lot of different things. Have fun with it. We'll see you on the next video. If you guys are interested in seeing the private side of all of our systems, money management, planning, casino income, how we make our money, go to cruisecasinomafia.com. There's 2 different options for you to join. If you're going to join with a lifetime membership, you can get $50 off by using the promo code MAFIA and the number 50. We'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.